पार्थाय
प्रतिबोधितां
प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां
भगवतां नारायणेन
नारायणेन
स्वयं
स्वयं व्यासेन
व्यासेन सहिता
सहितं
पुराणं
पुराणमुनिना
मध्ये
मध्ये
महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम्
भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततां
अनुसन्धामि
भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणी.
Yeah. Swamiji, any message on Gayatri Japa that?
Yeah, I have sent you the message, full message. You saw that?
Yes.
Beautiful explanation of Gayatri Mantra. The sense is, the crux of it is, the Gayatri Mantra, actually it is Gayatri is only a meter. But the Savituhu Gayatri became popular as Gayatri Mantra because it has got a very universal prayer. The sense, we say that the being, the effulgent being that blesses, that makes the sun, is the same effulgent being that blesses me. And also I pray, let it bless the whole world. Diyo yona prachodayat. So the very holistic prayer. And we also say the same effulgent being which makes the sun is what is my what do you call, my buddhi, my manas. Diyo yona prachodayat dhimahi Vargo devasya dhimahi. Lightens up, lights up my mind and buddhi. The same effulgent being which lights up the sun. That means there is an equation already established between you and Ishvara, sun as Ishvara. Sun and you are one and the same, lighted up by the same being. Such a holistic prayer. And also we say, let that effulgent being bless the whole world. Diyo yona prachodayat. So what more? Most efficacious prayer, most sense. If you can do that with all the Shraddha, that is why some people, they have been told, recommended 24 lakh Purascharanam of Gayatri. Swamiji himself was told in their old age when they approached him, he said, no, do 24 lakh Gayatri. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, 24 lakh Gayatri Purascharanam you do. That will bless you, he had told. So I know myself, I know people who have been told that way. So that much of, as good as Sri Rudram and as good as Vishnu Sahasranamam is Gayatri. So that is what it is. Since we got all the, and that is, that also will tell us, once that sort of a prayer, once we have that Shraddha in that, we will not be looking for here and there, for Ishvara or anything and all that. Okay, we will carry on wherever people are, whatever they are doing, just carry on. But we will not lose ourselves in that. We will be very focused in our understanding of life, vasana, prayer. Everything has got its place, but should not overdo it. What will happen is that it will distract you from your duties, number one. It will distract you from understanding life. Both will not be possible if you indulge too much in this chasing the gods and goddesses.
Yeah. We are in 17, verse 17.
Yeah.
Sattvat sanjayate jnanam
17.
rajaso lobha eva cha.
What happened?
No, I brought the old book. Sorry.
Room.
Pramada moho tamaso bhavato jnanameva cha.
Yeah, again he is continuing. Basically, as I was telling, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. In what are the manifestation of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in our daily activity? So that once we know this is how it is manifesting, we know how to move from Tamas to Rajas to Sattva. So the idea is, from where we are, where we have to grow. So for that, Bhagavan is explaining where exactly the Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are located. So that you can easily identify and move forward. That is the idea.
Yeah. Satvat, from Satva.
Sir.
Shall I read? Okay. Jnanam, knowledge. Sanjayate is born. Rajasaha evacha. And indeed from Rajas. Lobhaha, greed. Pramada, mohau, apathy and delusion. Tamasaha, bhavataha, are from tamas. Evacha. And also ajnanam, ignorance. From sattva is born knowledge. And indeed from Rajas is greed. Apathy and delusion are from tamas, and so also is ignorance. Having told the results of the gunas in terms of further births, Bhagavan now explains their results in this life. From sattva is born knowledge, and since knowledge liberates, sattva is therefore to be nurtured by good karmas. From rajas there is greed, and from tamas indifference and erroneous conclusions. Likes and dislikes, such as food preferences, also reflect the predominance of one guna or the other, as do the different types of emotions. A love that is free, for example, is sattvika, whereas love that is obsessive is rajasa. And if it develops into hatred, this is tamasa. Even an action like giving can be either sattvika, rajasika, or tamasika.
See, that is a beauty. In the sense, it is not what you do, with what predominance is there in that giving also, in your studies also, in your action also, in the office also, everywhere you can see whether you are doing out of greed, whether you are trying to put down somebody, whether you are contributing, whether you are a consumer or a contributor. Swamiji's famous statement, you grow from being a consumer to a contributor. Everyone, whether rich or old or young or poor, everyone is a consumer. Everyone has to eat food. Some farmer has to grow somewhere food. That's how it reaches onto your table. It doesn't just like that come. So everyone is a consumer. Whether you are making sufficient effort, conscious effort, whether you are living an alert life, that you contribute more than what you consume, whether it is in office, whether it is at home or at society. So I always to feel honestly, if I paid less than my effort in my own understanding, I am a contributor. So even in office, I never felt that I have been paid less. Okay, if I am paid less, then I am contributing, company is getting benefited. Good. So company is giving me an opportunity to be a contributor. Society is giving me, if I pay more tax, I don't mind, happy. Because I am becoming a contributor, somebody is giving me a facility. Even here people who come to donate, I always encourage them to give more donation. So that is how we have to look at it. That way nobody can hurt you. This is a corollary benefit. Nobody can cheat you also. Swamiji used to say at the ashram, some employee here and there, some 1 or 2 kilos, he takes rice at home and somebody catches him. Swamiji will not say anything. Hey, what? The 1 or 2 kilos rice is Gopuram Katida Purana. We are all in the whole society we are helping. If because of some reason 1 or 2 kilos, they let them take, he'll stay. Here also we keep books in the library and all. Suppose 1 or 2 books get lost, if somebody is willing to steal a book and read, I am happy. No, it's all we have our own imagination about what we think competitive. We have to be a contributory society. That is in our psyche. That is reality. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
You can see this in Bailapur Center a lot. Many people.
That's what he's trying to say. From consumer to contributor. He is growing from tamas to sattva, rajas to tattva. That is precisely what is being discussed here. Yeah.
He is going to elaborate on this in order to help us understand how to live a mature life, which we have to accomplish by a life of discipline and assimilation of proper values. Analyzing values is one way to approach this, but here he analyzes what falls into the categories of sattva, rajas and tamas in order to help us organize our thinking and life so that sattva may become predominant. Then being beyond the gunas, gunatitatva becomes easy because
elongated. Gunatitatva.
Gunatitatva.
Yes.
Becomes easy because all that can be empirically accomplished is accomplished, and as a result, empirical reality, Vyavaharika Satta, can be viewed as empirical. And what is absolutely real, Paramarthika Satta, Paramarthika Satta, becomes evident when one gains the knowledge of the self. And then one is free from the bondages of the Vyavaharika Satta.
Yeah.
And then one is said to be a Gunatita.
See, it's a beautiful thing. The reality is famous, it is discussed very elaborately in the Drisya Viveka book. Okay. There are, actually speaking, there are only two realities. Paramarthika Satyam and Vyavaharika Satyam. Okay. In our general parlance, we say there is true and false. Okay. There is, generally we say whatever we say as Vyavaharikam, like, okay, I go to office, I get some salary, I buy this, I eat this, I make this and all that. And whatever I do, these are all supposed to be for us reality. This is how we live our real life. Okay, suppose I, say something is false because, I say this, tomorrow there will be rain, there is a forecast. Okay, but it didn't rain. Then it becomes false. This is, even though the forecast was there, it didn't rain. So that is what we call false. So true and false is the way in which we live our life. But here Shastra talks about three orders of reality. One is Paramarthikam, another is Vyavaharikam, another is Pratibhashikam. Pratibhashikam is simply explained by seeing something, your lack of understanding, subjectivity. In the sense, suppose your typical example is you are going somewhere and it's slightly dark, you see a rope or a tube on the road, and you are not very sure. It looks like maybe if it is in the ashram and all, you may feel there is a snake. So you are afraid. Immediately you are afraid. The first sense of fear that you are looking at it as a snake is called pradibhasikam. In the sense, a wrong understanding of what is real, what is there. What is there is only a rope or the tube. You look at it as, so this is called subjective reality. This, when we say rope and snake or tube and snake, it becomes very, very obvious. All of us will agree, this is false. How can I be like that? So, but in life, many of our relationships, many of our way of looking at it, whether it is stock market or value for money, value for people, most of them are pradibhasika. We have a wrong understanding. We have a wrong approach. Because we think this is what it is, actually it turns out to be different. It all comes out by a background or by whatever fears we have. So in unconscious also, when in early life, if you are developed a lot of fear towards a lot of those things, that reflect later in life also. Because of unconscious, because of circumstances, lot of things we are looking at people as good, bad and all that. We're looking at things, this is good for me, a luxury is good for me, and all luxuries get converted into necessities. These are all because of subjective valuation. This is called pradibhasikam. Vyavaharikam is very simple. Looking at a pot as a pot is called vyavaharikam. That is okay, that you can easily understand. But if you look at our life, mostly, if you are able to see Vyavaharikam as Vyavaharikam, life becomes very simple. But what Swamiji says is here also is you will be able to look at Vyavaharika, a transactional reality as transactional. No, not unnecessarily giving more value or less value. Money has got a value to buy things. But you don't say that because of this much money, I am a greater person. Or because somebody has less money, is a lesser person. That is called subjective value. The same money is the same. The appropriate value if you give, it is Vyavaharika. Subjective value if you give, it is Pradipika. But why we give a subjective value to a reality of money and all that? Because we are not aware of Paramarthikam. Shastra introduces the word Paramarthikam, absolute reality, is the reality of the being, which is the subject matter of Brahma Vidya. If we understand our reality as the awareful being, then everything else is only Vyavaharika in life, including your body, mind, senses, all your money, position, etc., relationship, everything is Vyavaharika. Then you will be able to look at Vyavaharika as Vyavaharika. In the sense, you will not give more value, you will not give less value. What is appropriate to the given situation, you will do. So you will that way reduce your objectivity. Pradibhasikam will come down in life. When your Pradibhasikam comes down in life and Vyavaharika remains as Vyavaharika, you are growing from Tamasika to Rajasika. You are becoming an active life. Do whatever you are supposed to do, your duties and all very actively, very enthusiastically. And at the same time, since you are already exposed to Paramarthikam, what is absolute reality, once you do your daily life properly, you will find time to understand more about your reality. You will study Paramarthikam, you will read Shastra, Brahma Vidya. That's way claiming your reality, your true reality, which is doesn't ask for anything. Whether you claim it or not, this is what it is. If you understand earlier, the better. Otherwise, you will be living in a false paradise. So learning there is no choice. Learning, understanding our reality, there is no choice. We don't know. You are that's why that you said no in the earlier thing. What is that? Kripanaha, miserliness. Your life you live in as a miser because you are not used your buddhi for which it is meant for. Knowing the Paramarthika Satyam, the reality of the being. So that is precisely what he is trying to say. Paramarthika Satta, Vyavaharika Satta, and he has still not talked about Pradibhasika Satta, but Pradibhasika Satta is what I am governed by more and more of Tamas and Rajas. The sense giving a false value to things. That is what is, so once you know Paramarthika Satta, you will not give false value to anything. You will look at Vyavahara as Vyavahara. Then you are moving from Tamasika to Rajasika, Rajasika to Sattvika. Yeah. You become a Gunatita. Eventually you become a Gunatita. You don't get governed by the Gunas.
Urdvam gachanti satvasta madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaganya guna vrittista ato gachanti tamasaha. Satvasta, those abiding in sattva. Urdvam, higher up. Gachanti, go. Rajasaha, those belonging to rajas. Madhye, in the middle. Tishtanti, remain. Tamasaha, those belonging to tamas. Jaganya guna vrittistaha, having the nature of the lowest. Guna, adho gachanti, go down.
Adho gachanti, adhogati சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? What he means, adhogati, adhogati. தாமசாக இருந்தாக்க அதோகதி தான் கிடைக்கும்.
Those abiding in sattva go to the worlds higher up. Those belonging to rajas remain in the middle. And those belonging to tamas, having the nature of the lowest guna, go down. Those who live a life influenced primarily by sattva guna, doing what is to be done, avoiding what is not to be done, are those who are satvasta sattva, sattva situated in sattva. Such people after death are born in lokas that are superior in the sense that there is more happiness. There, they are endowed with a body, mind, sense complex that can tap greater degrees of happiness than this human body. In this life too, they enjoy a greater degree of happiness, but what is referred to here is an afterlife in which they are definitely better off. In the middle, Madhye, is the world of human beings or their equivalent, where those whose lives have been dictated by rajas are born. And the guna at the bottom, Jaganya is tamas. Those whose lives have been controlled by tamas go to the lowest undesirable. Rajas is in between because the person who is rajasika can become sattvika or tamasika. The person who is tamasika, however, cannot become sattvika straight away, but have to become rajasika at first. The vritta, the expressed condition of tamoguna, is sleepiness, procrastination, laziness, apathy, and so on, as we have seen. Those who live that kind of life go to births that are lower in nature like those of the animals. This is said to praise the sattva guna so that we will make effort to cultivate it for our growth. But then it must be borne in mind that sattva also is a bondage, as are rajas and tamas. How are we to get rid of the bondage of the gunas? Swamiji, here also they are telling loka will be born in a kind of a loka See, we read it like there's no, heaven concept, like, right? But now they are again telling being born in a type of loka, which is heaven, like they are describing. So,
Yeah, that's why he said, that is why he says here, but then it must be borne in mind that sattva also is a bondage, meaning going to loka, heaven also is a bondage. Here it says only as a prasamsa. Prasamsa meaning, okay, in place of tamas and rajas, at least you will develop sattva guna. You may feel that you are going to higher loka, you will have greater enjoyment. Or you may even say that if I do well and I do get more money, I may go to Hawaii. I may go to USA. So it is it's a sort of a carrot approach, that's all. But earlier it has always been told, sattva guna also is a golden shackle only. Sattva guna is not meant for enjoyment here or in the hereafter. Sattva guna is, that is why Parameswara Prityartham, when we do the Sankalpa also, Antakarana Shuddhyartham. I have told you, Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Naishalyam, Chitta Samadhanam. That should be our prayer, that should be our Sankalpa. Not Parameswara Prityartham, Aishwarya Abhivartyartham, and promotion Kadikito. That should not be the Sankalpa. The Sankalpa should be Antakarana Shuddhyartham. Chitta Naishalya Siddhyartham, Chitta Samadhanam Siddhyartham. Why? So that I can understand my reality, the Paramarthika Satta. So, Sattva Guna should help you to become a Paramarthika Satta as your Surupa. It should not remain as a Guna. It should help you to become Surupa, your reality. Because that is your reality. That is why Manas is called Sattva. Actually, the name of Manaha is Sattva because your Buddhi is supposed to be Sattvam. A human mind, I have told you before. A human gene has got the learnings of all the genes in the whole creation, right from Devata to your worm. So the gene is already ready, but only thing is you have been given a clean slate so that you can decide to choose to know what you want to know. Otherwise, it will all be all the genes, learnings, if it is there in the slate as you are born, you will be confused. So Bhagavan has blessed us with a clean slate, but you got the samskara to learn anything. If you want to become a devata, you can become by being a sattva guna. If you want to become a adogati, if you want to become a worm also, you can become a worm. That is why you are the only person who will, Swamiji always used to say that riddles, amai, that is there in the Orissa coast. If a dog comes, it will take one, pick up one amai and go. If anything else comes also, it will pick one or two and go. Whereas human being will go with a bag and remove all the amais because he is greedy. So we have got the capability to fall totally into tamas or grow higher up into sattva. But we have a choice. We have been given the choice to do. So we have to judiciously use the choice to grow into sattva and then learn our reality as the gunatita. That's why he says gunatita. You have to grow into gunatita. That is why Bhagavan also told, no? We have read it before also.
Yes.
Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavajuna. Bhagavan says. The whole world is Traigunya Vishaya only. Vedaha. Vedathula chonnadu ellame. Forget Laukikam. Vedathula chonnadu ellame only Traigunya Vishaya. Don't get, it's all flowery language scholars will use. He will say, do this puja, I will go to Swarga Loka. Do this puja, I will go to that Loka, that Loka. And they will do flowery language. Don't get caught up in that. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavatana. Then we will say, why? Bhagavan knows why all these Vedas are kept. We came from Bhagavan only. Because till the time you understand that Traigunya Vishayaha is your reality, you have to live a sane life. Not only for you, but also for the society. Otherwise, each one will be fighting the other. So for that, a Dharma matrix is given, Veda is given as a manual. Till the time you understand, you live a sane life. For that only this Veda, Puja, Namaskaram, everything. But not to hold on to it as reality. But to grow out of it. Grow over it rather, not even out of it. Grow over it. So that is precisely what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Association with gunas is bondage. To be free of them is moksha. In the previous chapter, while discussing Purusha and Prakriti, it had been said that the cause of a given birth is the association with the gunas. The association between the individual person and the gunas is due to false knowledge, Mithya Jnana, and
Mithya
because of
Jnana.
this, Mithya Jnana, and because of this, the Purusha appears to be connected to the Prakriti. As a result, he experiences himself as sorrowful, deluded, and so on, not knowing that Ananda is the truth of himself. These various experiences are the expressions of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Being lost in them, a person says, I am happy, sad, deluded, and so on, instead of I am Brahman.
So, basically, the root cause of ourselves getting associated with the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas of the body, mind, senses is avidya. Your reality is Atma. Your body, mind, senses have this sattva, rajas, tamo guna. They are born of Prakriti. But without any, there is no explanation how, timeless, spaceless, objectless being Atma can get associated with the Prakriti. That is why, since it cannot be explained, it is called Maya.
Yes.
But we don't have to take that as reality. Maya is not a reality. Maya is just to explain why it has happened, how it has happened. It is avidya, lack of understanding. So, cutting that, Vidyate, Hridaya, Granthi, that Bhagavan told, no, earlier chapter. Hridaya Granthi is basically only this, the knot of ignorance, which connects the Purusha and the Prakriti. So, our objective is not to get connected to Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. The whole three are the manifestation of Prakriti. You have to get out of all of them. But in the process, if you are going to be a tamasic person, you will not even do your daily duties properly all the time sleeping. From there, you have to grow into a Rajasi active person. Then you will be using your brains better. Then from there, you have to grow to a Sattva person. From there, you have to go to the Atita, Gunatita, break the link, break the Hridaya Granthi between Purusha and Prakriti. Become a Purusha, you are the real Purusha only. You are not, that's why you are called Purushan. So, minimum thing that is required of human life is to become a Purusha. Minimum thing. Yeah.
Even though Atma is Asanga, because of erroneous understanding, it appears to be associated with all these modification of the gunas. That is the cause of the various desirable and undesirable births. This was briefly stated in the previous chapter and has been elaborated here in this chapter. Having explained in detail how due to erroneous knowledge these gunas seem to bind, Krishna now turns his attention on how to free oneself from this bondage. This is the purpose of the chapter. Though the understanding of different types of behavior as expressions of the gunas and the striving to enhance sattva-guna is useful, Shastra is not interested in leaving the person bound with sattva-guna. He has to know how to be free of that too. So send to the next verse.
Verse 19 and 20. The one who knows the self to be beyond the gunas gains immortality. Nanyam gune visvakartaram yata drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhikachati. Yada, when drashta, the seer, gunebhyaha, other than the gunas, anyam kartaram, another agent, na anupashyati, does not see, cha, and gunebhyaha param veti, knows himself as beyond the gunas, saha, he, madbhavam, my nature, adhigachati, gains. When the seer does not see an agent other than the gunas, and when he knows himself as beyond the gunas, he gains my nature, understands my nature. There is no agent other than the gunas. Pashyati means he sees with the prefix anu.
The beauty is here, Bhagavan says, he gains my nature. Swamiji has put it, understands. Actually, gains my nature means what? He becomes me. That is the straight away. The benefit is, generally we know a subject not to become. We don't study microbiology to become a microbe. Whereas, here, by knowing Bhagavan, you become Bhagavan. So, which study is more enhancing? The choice is obvious. That's what he is trying to say here. Yeah.
there is no agent other than the gunas. Pashyati means he sees, and with the prefix anu, it means he sees clearly in keeping with the Shastra, as taught by the teacher. As it is unfolded, the person is able to see because Shastra is a pramana in the hands of one who knows its meaning as the truth of himself, being a means of knowledge in the form of words. When the meaning of the words is understood as it is meant to be understood, it is all that is required. With this understanding, he sees that there is no agent other than the gunas. Therefore, he does not see the Atma as the agent, Karta.
Yeah. என்ன இப்படி இருக்கானே
பரவாயில்ல இன்னும்
Here,
Prakash, we want Prashant to read.
no, it's okay. Here the word yada, when, does not indicate that this is an event. Shankara makes this clear by saying, the seer being wise, being awake to the nature of Atma, the self which performs no action, he sees that there is no agent other than the gunas. Previously, Bhagavan said that the one who knows the truth, Tattvavit, knows that even while seeing, hearing, etc., he performs no action, and the actions are nothing but movement of the gunas among the gunas. Gunaha guneshu vartante. The important thing here is that he is very clear about the nature of the self. Otherwise, even though the gunas do everything, if he considers himself associated with them, he is going to be affected by their actions. A father whose son is a criminal is very much affected even though he knows that his son, not he, committed the crimes. In order to avoid this misconception about the self and the activities of the gunas, Bhagavan says that when one knows himself as above all the gunas, yada gunebhyaha cha param veti, he is not affected by what the gunas do. While being that because of which gunas can function, he himself is not affected by their activities. This is similar to space, which accommodates everything but does not get sullied by what happens in space. Shankara says he knows himself as the witness of the activities of the gunas. The one who performs no action always remains in the form of witness. Bhagavan says the result for such a person is that he gains the nature of being myself, that is Ishvara Bhava. That nature of being myself is the cause for everything and yet transcends everything. He is no longer separate from Ishvara. The statement Tat Tvamasi, you are that, is a reality for him. He assimilates that statement completely and is able to say, I am that, knowing that the agent Karta exists because of him, but he is not the Karta. A person to whom this is clear is one with the Lord.
Swamiji,
This we have seen also earlier, right?
Yeah.
The 14th chapter, the 4.17 and 4.19, where Bhagavan told, Ajo pisanna, abhe atma pisanna, bhutanam ishvaro pisanna, prakritim swam adhishtaya, sambhavami atma maya. So when he says prakritim swam adhishtaya, he clearly means that he is not the prakriti. Swam adhishtaya means keeping it in my hand. Sambhavami atma maya. That means he understands that he is Purusha. His prakriti is using it to sambhavami atma maya. That is why he said in the next this thing, one person who knows this, karmani akarmaya paschet akarmani cha karmayaha. Sa buddhiman manushyesu sa yuktaha sa krishna karma krite. He is a person who understands what it is all about, the reality, and also whatever he does is krishna karma krite. Everything is well done in his life. Why? Because he doesn't associate, he remains a Purusha. Prakriti is whatever that happens in front of him. He doesn't totally get overwhelmed by the Prakriti. Whatever is appropriate to the given situation, he does. Karmani akarmaya paschet. He doesn't think that I am doing, I am responsible, I have to feel guilty, I have to feel hurt. Like that, he is not overwhelmed by the situation. He does what is appropriate to be done with the body, mind, senses, and the buddhi and all that. To that extent he knows, to that extent he understands. But karmani akarmaya paschet, he doesn't says that I am doing. This Prakriti is being done, because of my understanding of the reality, like what Bhagavan has told in the previous verse, I also am very clear that I am Purusha. In my Sannidhanam, all these activities are happening. With my body's mind and senses, I am contributing. That way, karmani akarmaya pache, akarmini cha karmayaha. See, even though I am not doing, everything is done by body, mind, senses and all, but karma is happening. Whatever is to be done is happening. It is not that I am sitting idle. So both ways he is aware. He doesn't feel negligent or doesn't procrastinate just because I know that I am Purusha, I don't have to do anything, he will sit tight. No, he doesn't do that. Whatever has to happen in the phenomenal with his body, mind, senses, he lends it to happen. But he doesn't take ownership on that. He doesn't say that I am doing, he will do whatever is yathartham. Whatever is to be done, he will do. To the extent, whatever position he has come, whatever he has grown, whatever he has learned, whatever job he has taken up, he will do to the extent possible, to the best of his ability, without any agenda other than the job at hand. So this is a balanced viewpoint in life. Will help us to have a healthy understanding of the Purusha and the Prakriti and the Sambandha. So that is precisely that alertness is what is being talked about here. That is why he says, he assimilates the statement completely and is able to knowing that the agent karta exists because of him, but he is not the karta. This is precisely karmani akarmaya pasche akarmani cha karmayaha. A person to whom this is clear is one with the Lord. That's what he said. Sambhavami Atma Maya. If you understand that, you will can also say the same thing. Bhagavan said there. The 4.1718 is being talked about here. So unless we are very clear about all those things, when we read through this, will not be clear. It's not, you have to get connected, all the things, whatever he has told in the 12 chapters and the 13th chapter, we have to connect. Then only this will make meaning. Yeah.
Swamiji, actually, one doubt. Prahlad during Narsimha Avatar, devotee of Vishnu, good side. But what I'm asking is just a social question. When you consider his father's, when his father asked him to do something, he doesn't do. Now Rama did something that his mother said, but after his mother says no need, still he says no, mother said, so I'm going. Krishna never listened much, did not listen much to his mother, father like that. He never had, but he still did things like this. So what I'm asking is, when you try to read something and try to think for yourself, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right way to do? For everything, there seems to be some exception that comes sometimes. Like Bharata, for example, did not listen to his mother. He could have just listened to Kaikeyi and done the Rajyam, but did not do it. So, like this, we have examples of this side and that side. Even in today's thing, when what we have read today in today's class is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Typical example is some mud I am associated with, but the particular person responsible is not doing the responsible thing. He's showing a lot of tamasic and I want to be little sattva. So I say, for example, I am away from that mud itself completely. But what happens is, because of the parambaryam that my family history has, that they have to be associated with that mud, sometimes I also will have to indulge in activities which are tamasic, for example. So what I'm not getting out of this whole thing is, now it's confusing me more when I read this, when I say, as a karta, what is it that I should do? Because in beginning it says, be sattvic. Now slowly it is coming to the fact that we talk about always recently, right? You always say, what is it? Awareful being. You have to be an awareful being. So at every place, the only thing that boils in my mind is, awareful being should be applied at every place for you to react a particular situation or be in a particular phase of life, or to do something is what I basically is the understanding. Am I right? That is what it conveys.
Yeah. See, all this whatever we are talking in terms of the Puranas and see, they are all archetypes of a particular highlighted quality. Rama is Pitruvakya Paripalanam. Prahalata is the, what you call is Satyam. He was so unafraid of throwing away Asatyam. So like that, Bharata is a typical what you call a selfless. That is why India is called Bharat, because he was totally in what is just for the society, what is good for the society. He was very committed to that. He was not going by parents and all. So they are all archetypes. In all this, they are highlighting a particular guna. The characters in those pics were themselves were to highlight a particular guna so that we can pick it up. But once we come to our own life, we have to go by our understanding. Our understanding is what is right now, till now, what we have gone through is that what is our reality, what is the Purusha, what is the Prakriti gunas are what, how we have to grow from the tamasic to rajasic to apply. Every moment you have to live an alert life. Everything, if you go through all the, the 12 chapters we have gone through, all that will synchronize. It will not be contradicting. Wherever contradictions are there, paradoxes are there, they are then and there resolved by the commentary. That is why the Gita, Shankara Bhashyam and Swamiji's commentary makes sense. Wherever you find some contradiction, it will all get resolved. So what we have to look at is, we have to, if we have that understanding of the reality, the Paramarthika Buddhi, the Purusha, what it is all about, if you have understood, then Vyavaharika will remain as Vyavaharika. It will not give undue value to something. Subjective value on a Vyavaharika will make it a Pradipasika. Pradipasika means false. So if you give a false value, naturally you will not be able to be successful even in the relative terms. If you have a proper value for anything and everything only, you will be able to do whatever you need to do also properly. So first you have to sort out whether I am a subjective value, whether I have a upper objective value. Both this discrimination between the objective value and the subjective value, dharma and adharma itself is possible only when you have the vastu viveka, nitya anitya vastu viveka. I have told you, the viveka, the discrimination between dharma and adharma itself can get blurred because of like what you have quoted now, whether I should be like a Bharata or Prahlad. The dharma and adharma itself will get confused if you don't have the viveka, discrimination of satya and anitya vastu. The nitya anitya vastu vivekam alone will help you to become your dharma and adharma. They are not absolute, they are only universal, they are within a paradigm only. What is dharma today may not be dharma 100 years, 10 years later. IT industry also you can see what was dharma before is not dharma anymore. Why? Because everything is changing. We are talking about a changing situation. A changing situation, there is no absolute dharma and adharma. Where is this viveka will hold satya and nitya only? There is nitya anitya vastu viveka only. There you can permanently hold. What is nityam will always be nityam. The nityam is only your reality. The avarful being is the only reality. There won't be any confusion. So with that, holding that reality in mind, then you must look at dharma and adharma appropriate to the given situation and act according to the given situation. That much of space you must have. That is precisely what is, that is why Yoga Shastra, that is how you live, and Brahma Vidya has to go hand in hand. Unless they go and seva or a philanthropy cannot become a yoga. Can become a yoga only when you understand the reality.
Okay.
Otherwise, there again your ego will come, and there again you will have, like even philanthropy, there can be a sattvika philanthropy, rajasika philanthropy. People will say 100 rupees, they want a board that they have given 100 rupees. The board will cost more than what they have donated. Like typical Rotary Club mentality. So there again, we will have all these confusions. Because we are not looking at the reality. We have to look at from the reality only all this will make sense. Otherwise we will get confused. That is why we are being told that. Okay, don't get carried away by Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna also can be adding value to your ego. It is going to be adding value to your ego, anytime it can pull you down. So you must grow out of the gunas. Having Sattva Guna, you must be able to study Brahma Vidya, understand your reality, then come back to the society and you can be better person than what you have been. Simultaneously, it has to go. That is why Jnanam and that is why Bhagavad Gita is very typical. It gives both Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra simultaneously. It is not one at the cost of the other. Very important. Yeah.
No, also that mutt, you always see mutt, you only look at one mutt. Don't try to compare this mutt with that other mutt. Prashant, always I tell you, மட்டுக்கு போனோமா அந்த பெரியவாளை பார்த்தோமா நமஸ்காரம், that's all. There ends the matter. Let us not think of anything else.
Yeah. So I
Yeah, in the sense, what will happen, Prashant, what I can make out, here you are, whether, I have told you before, whether the people around, in the beginning also of today's discussion, we were discussing religion and all that. We cannot change the world. We are not here to change the world, I tell you. We have to, within the world, how best we can position ourselves. How far we can make use of all these activities to grow. Worst situation, you can easily grow. In a good situation, you will have to make extra effort. In the worst situation, you will know what is not okay. You can always avoid that. So, we should, our growth is very important. It is very important. It may look like it is being selfish. It is not. I tell you, unless you grow, how are you going to contribute? Tell me. Even if you want to be a contributor, for you have to grow first. For that, you have to be alert. You have to alert living. Live a length of time with yoga and jnanam going together. Grow. Then you will be automatically find yourself in a situation where you will be able to contribute. It will happen, but you cannot all the time be worried about how others around you.
Nowadays, Swamiji, when I go to some place like that and I see something, I get my mind triggers me telling, don't get judgmental. So I come out of it right away.
Very true. That's how far you can be better. How can you get better in the situation? That is what is important. Yeah.
Okay, Swamiji.
Yeah.
How does the individual jiva become one with the Lord? Gunan etanatītyat trindehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityujara dukkaihi dukkaihi vimukto amritamashmute dehi, the embodied one, etan, these three gunas, deha samudbhavan, that are the cause of the body, atitya, crossing over, janma mrityu jara dukkaihi, from birth, death, old age and sorrow, vimuktaha, released, amritam ashnute, gains immortality. Crossing these three gunas that are the cause of the body, the embodied one, released from birth, death, old age and sorrow, gains immortality. These three gunas are the causes for the creation of this body-mind-sense complex. That being so, how is it possible to get rid of them while in this body? The beauty is Atma is already free from all of them. So, in crossing or going beyond these gunas, there is no movement involved. It is just knowing the self to be free from all the three gunas. Thereby, the one who indwells the body, the Dehi, is liberated from birth, death and everything in between, including old age. These are the physical things he is free from. Then among the mental afflictions, one word is good enough, dukkha. One's whole life moves from dukkha to dukkha with a little sukha now and then. But it is the dukkha from which we want to be free.
Swamiji, this one, this what we are reading now is completely different topic. Just one question, final, because you have clarified, 3/4 of my things in my mind. Final thing, only one thing.
And
this liberation is while one is alive. Liberation after death is not possible. The bound dies.
I am not able to hear. Louder.
Well,
And this liberation is while one is alive.
can you hear now?
We are
Next
not.
para.
Swamiji, you put yourself on mute by mistake.
Yeah. Where is it?
But before verse 21, that. But
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And this liberation is while one is alive. Liberation after death is not possible. The bound dies. Any experience later is for the bound. Even the gain of Brahmaloka is not liberation, but being there, the jiva is likely to be taught by Brahmaji that he is a Brahman. But then that also is liberation, right then, not later. While living, one recognizes the Atma to be free from birth, death, and everything undesirable. There is no necessity to wait for death to gain this recognition because the self is free right now. The one who knows this, gains Amrita, the eternal Brahman. After death, there is no rebirth for this person because he or she is not guna bound. Knowing the Atma as beyond the gunas, gunatita, this is no longer a matter of belief for him. Knowing he is eternal, where is the question of birth? Not being bound by time, how is the self going to subject itself to rebirth? Arjuna slips in a question here. In the second chapter, he had asked, what is the description of a wise man? A few chapters later, he asks the same question in a different form. Shankara remarks that the sentence, having transcended the gunas, he gains immortality, provides an occasion for Arjuna to ask a question. Because it is the Dehi, the embodied one, who gains immortality, it is understood that one comes to identify himself as Parameswara while living.
Very important, lessons, no? He has been asking this sort of questions time and again, very important occasion. Because here in this particular verse 20, he has very clearly told that Muktaha Amritam Ashnute. Since he is clearly, how he has explained is, basically once a person understands that all the three gunas, whether it is Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna, all are belonging to the Prakriti, my body, mind, senses. And my reality is Atma, is Gunatita, because we have already discussed this. Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam. Does not have any time or also, space or even an object. This is our being, the being. So, there is no reason this being getting connected with all the gunas of the Prakriti, that is body, mind, senses, and all the relations and all the activities that we are involved. So, what we have to do, the gunas, the Prakriti will continue. That our body, mind, senses, our role play, everything will continue. It's not going to get stopped. But our own identification with them will, with this understanding, will take a, we will not identify. We will slowly and steadily disidentify and remain as a Purusha, right? Be a witness and do what you can. So the space between you and the gunas and the Prakriti will help you. That space is called freedom. That is what he says, Gunatita and Amritam Ashnute. Straight away, Bhagavan says, once you have that space, let the Prakriti be what it is. Let all things happen around. But you don't identify. If you do that, you are getting the Amritatvam, the immortality right away here. And Arjuna asks, then he is going to ask how to identify that sort of a person, etc., etc. The sense, what he means is that how to be. That is what he is going to ask, and that is what he is going to reply. So, there is no doing involved. There is only being, there is understanding involved.
understand.
Doing will continue. Whoever does, that will do. Body, mind, senses, the role play, all those things will continue. But you will be alert that you will always maintain the space between you, the being. For that, the being, there should be a value for it. It should not be bookish. It is not because I study Gita, it is my reality. I will look for how to know more and more about my reality by reading the Gita. It is not that I am going to read the Gita and know. I already know. Now I am, after 12 chapters, I am very clear. My reality is the awareness being. My reality is Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam Atma is my reality. Once that is very clear and you are having a space at every point in time, whether it is morning, evening, or whether this activity, that activity, or office or home, with the relationship and all, everywhere you are able to be alert. That is happening in that zone of relationship. That is happening in that zone of office. That is happening in that zone of home. And everywhere you will be alert and do what is appropriate to the given situation. No role is hangover. Whatever problem is there in the office, don't bring it home. Whatever problem is there in the home, don't take it to office. So all these bifurcations, be alert. Alert living, apramatta, is what is most. That space is freedom. That is amritam. There is no other amritam. There is no mukti other than that space. So which is gettable, which is livable. What I am trying to say is this is livable here and now. But in small and big ways. Initially it will be less. More and more it will grow. The freedom you will find it here itself. We should not be looking for a moksha, very typically what is told in Shastra, like moksha means you will not be reborn and all that. That is all only prasamsa. Prasamsa meaning just to give you that extra, like chocolate. You know, when the chocolate karamadi. And you will திரும்பி வர மாட்டேன் அங்க போவேன் இங்க போவேன் அதெல்லாம் கதை இதெல்லாம் வேண்டவே வேண்டாங்க. Let us understand the reality here and now. That is what we should focus. Then we will be able to be alert. The alert living will drive our life. Yeah.
I think we should have class once in 2 days. Because all this lasts for 2 days. For 2 days this lasts, Swamiji. 2 days the alertness is there. Okay. Then 3rd day everything goes down.
We can have no problem. You can tell we'll have more classes. But what I am trying to say, and also I am sending you those classes. Tattvavidananda's classes, the 4 classes of 13.1 and 13.2.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful classes. You must listen to all those 4 classes.
That's what I was asking. That's why I told you at the beginning.
Have any of you listened to all those 4 classes?
See, that's what I asked you. Even if I wanted to, so much of job to be done for all this festival. That's why I was thinking, why at all this?
But anyway, find a way to do it. Beautiful. 13.1 and 13.2 is made it very clear. Purusha, Prakriti, all those things. Kshetrajna, he has made it very, very clear. He is very. Why I am telling you is that he is a Shastrakara, he is Adhyayini. He has gone through all these things, life. And still he says, that is where it becomes more very emphatic. It is coming from the horse's mouth. He has been an Adhyayini. I told you, that he is, what is called, he is Mahapariva Cholli, இவர் வந்து சண்டி ஹோமத்துக்கு commentary எழுதியிருக்கார். And he says,
such a great man.
The whole society, whole religious society is totally now hijacked by popular religions. So naturally we have to find our foot in that. In that, what we can do, our puja, namaskaram and all, we must take it to a certain level and help us grow in these things. Gita, he also advocates Gita with Bhashyam. We have to understand thoroughly. He is also very much on those things. So let us, if you listen to those things, you will find more and more. You will be able to. Well, once you are convinced internally, this is how we have to grow, then you will take those baby steps. And that you as a family, as you two are elders, you will be able to easily do it. Prashant will find it more difficult, but all of the same level of understanding, then automatically it becomes easier. One can handhold the other and do it. Yeah.
Verse 21. Arjuna wants to know how to transcend these 3 gunas. Kairlingai strin Arjuna uvacha Kairlingai strin gunanetan atito bhavati prabho Himachara katam thaitam Trin gunanati vartate.
So it's all question only. He says Kaihi, Lingaihi, Trin gunan etan atito bhavati. Who is, how is he? What is the linga? What is the adayalam? for the identifying such a person who is a gunatita, how is he? He is asking so that he can emulate. Same like Tera Pragya Kya Bhasha he asks. No, same way he is asking. Prabhu, Kim Acharaha? What sort of acharam he should follow? Katam cha etam three guna nati vartate. How he crossed over? How? Who is the one who has crossed over? Then how he has crossed over? All that he is asking. All that only questions, the whole verse. Now Bhagavan will explain. Yeah.
Arjuna Uvacha Arjuna Uvacha said, Prabhu, O Lord, Kaihi Lingaihi, by what characteristics? Etan Trin Gunan. These three gunas, Atitaha Bhavati. Does a person become the one who has crossed? Kim Acharaha. What is his conduct? Katam cha. And how? Etan Trin Gunan. These three gunas, Ativartate, does he transcend? Arjuna said, O Lord, by what characteristics does a person become recognizable as one who has crossed these three gunas? What is his conduct, and how does he transcend these three gunas? Arjuna wants to know by what indications he can recognize a person who has transcended these three gunas. And further, what is his conduct? Achara. There is more general way of asking what he had already asked before. He had asked in the second chapter while asking about this Stita Prajna. How would he sit? Would he sit? How would he walk? Would he walk? How would he speak? Would he speak? Here he asks an important question in addition, and that is, how does he transcend these three gunas? Is there a way out? Even though there are three questions, Shankara reduces them to two. The first two are with reference to description or a way of recognizing a wise man. The third refers to the means of transcending these three gunas.
Before Krishna answers, I will say the person who has transcended these three gunas is Narada, because person who wants to do, like Kamsa, for example, when we read Krishna Lila, Kamsa does not want to kill the first son of Devaki, but Narada comes and says, no, you will get killed by the eighth person, so kill. So then Kamsa is forced to kill the first child as well. So person who has transcended these three gunas, according to me, is Narada, because he doesn't have...
But he had a problem, no? He said he had done all that, and still he said, he went to Sanat Kumara and told, Sokaman. He said, even though he was Gandharva Purusha, still he had not understood this reality. So he says, Sokam Bhavati, how to get over. Then Sanat Kumara teaches him this knowledge. Even that knowing worldly knowledge may not help also, unless you understand this. That's what he was telling. Yeah.
Verse 22, Bhagavan replies to the first part of Arjuna's question. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava na dveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha said, Pandava, O Pandava Arjuna, Prakasham cha, brightness, pravrittim cha, and activity, moham eva cha, and even delusion, sampravrittani, that have come to occur, na dveshti, he does not despise, nivrittani, those that have gone away, na kankshati, he does not long for. Sri Bhagavan said, Pandava, Arjuna, brightness and activity and even delusion that have come to occur, he does not despise, nor does he long for those that have gone away. The Gunatita neither despises nor longs for the manifestations of the gunas. Prakasha is the product of sattva, such as alertness, a cheerful disposition, and so on. Pravritti is activity prompted by desire and is the product of rajas. Moha, delusion, is a product of tamas, and here we can include dullness, apathy, and so on. When these come into being, he does not loathe them, na dveshti. When they go away, he does not long for them, na nivrittani kankshati. They are clearly recognized as products of the three gunas. When he experiences confusion or dullness, he knows that tamas has become predominant and makes no conclusion about himself on the basis of the effect of tamas that he sees manifesting in his mind. Similarly, when he finds restlessness and an inclination to pursue activity, he knows this only as the effect of rajas. When he experiences sukha, he knows sattva is responsible and does not get bound by it. He is neither repulsed nor attracted by these experiences because of his very clear understanding that they are all products of the gunas. As they occur sampravittani, he does not judge himself because he does not include himself in them. The mind is subject to gunas and therefore it will sometimes be dull also. When a jnani is yawning, he does not think he has fallen away from his swarupa as Satchit Ananda. When he yawns, he recognizes that there is yawning, nothing more than that. When there is dullness, the mind is dull. When the mind is bright, he recognizes that it is bright, and when it is rather restless, he sees that the mind is restless. Being beyond the gunas, he has no problem at all. The attachment or involvement of the Atma with the gunas is like the involvement of the space with the pot. Whether the pot is small or large, space is not in any way affected. Similarly, Atma, though very much present in the mind, remains unaffected. The sense of I, for the one who knows this, is in Satchit Ananda Atma and not in the thought modification. Therefore, he has no anxiety about a particular mode of the mind. If it goes, it goes. If it comes, it comes. He does not bother about it because he is beyond the gunas, gunatita. Whatever the gunas present is fine with him. In this, there is nothing good or bad. It is important to understand that this is not meant for judging, but for understanding yourself. Nor can you determine whether someone else is gunatita or not, because Shankara says it is not perceivable by another. Unless you can see someone else's Atma, you cannot know whether he or she is Gunatita or not. The condition of Gunatitatva is identical with the Swarupa of Atma, and the knowledge of Atma is that it is Gunatita. Shankara says it cannot be known by another because it is known only to oneself. Only you can know whether you have Gunatitatva. If you judge yourself on the basis of your mind, you have to understand the reason for such a judgment. Being Gunatita is nothing but the absence of judging yourself on the basis of your mind or any other thing. With reference to money, one is rich or poor. From the standpoint of the body, one is old or young. All these judgments are within the gunas. To be a Gunadita is to recognize the self as it is. For a mumukshu, not judging oneself on the basis of the gunas is very useful as a means to becoming prepared to know the self. One has to learn to look at the disposition of the mind as simply the mind. It keeps changing, and that is the nature of the mind. When you see that, you have space to look at yourself as Gunatita. We are not interested in changing the mind, we are interested in seeing it for what it is. This is for a mumukshu. Also, there can be a stage in which the intensity of the mental dispositions is very great due to unresolved childhood pain. It must be dealt with differently. First, we reduce the subjective to the objective. The responses to current situations are rooted in childhood problems and have nothing to do with realities. The subjectivity has to be removed and the things should be looked at objectively. Then the mind can be seen as subject to three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Once that is clear, you can appreciate Atma being gunatita. These are the characteristics of a wise person, but how does he express himself in the world? That is pointed out by a few verses here.
So we will see, we will look at it. So very important. Like first you have to have a space between yourself and the manifestations in your own mind, not about others. In your own mind, how what are all sort of thoughts are coming, whether it is sattva, rajas or tamas, whether the manifestation, all that. The first thing, once you are alert to what is happening in your mind, automatically you know what to act upon, what to not act upon. See, once you have that distance between you and your mind, you know very well. All of us know very well what I should act upon in a particular situation, what I should not act upon in a particular situation. The first space itself is a first level of freedom. The next level of freedom is like rajas, tamas to rajas to sattva. We get some very tamasic, very dull or procrastination or slothfulness, not to do. We have I have to do. I have to do what is appropriate. Move from tamas to rajas. Then when activity, when it comes to that, what is appropriate? No, I should not do what is holistic in the given situation, which is good for everyone. I should do. I should not be selfish. All those things automatically will grow into sattva. So that your observation of what is happening in your mind, how to go about, will happen only when you have the freedom to look at the mind as the mind. And also the restlessness or any anger automatically will subside also. Because once you observe, you cannot be angry anymore. Once you are totally overwhelmed by the anger only, you become the anger. You become the angry person. You don't have anger anymore. You are the angry person. Then you don't have a hold on that. You will act. Whereas as long as you know that I am the person and I have anger, I can appropriately act. So the distance between you and the gunas, and then how to go about gunas, converting them from tamas to rajas to sattva, all the three are automatic, both are equally important. What he has told, and he will say how a wise person will do. He will explain the next verses. We will see that.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi